the best pony panel.
The best pony panel.
It's obviously Trixie, as we all know, it's the best pony. And right now we're going to spend 1 hour appreciating Trixie and all the media related to Trixie. So,
wait a minute, honey. I am afraid there's two wrong things here. First, Trixie being the best pony is a bit questionable, but this is not a matter of taste, okay? And second, I'm afraid this is Derpibooru panel, not Trixie appreciation panel.
fuck! Well, here goes my entire presentation.
Oh well.
Well, I guess we're talking about Derpibooru then. Derpibooru, I have no doubt that most of you have heard of the site or used the site, but for those who have not, Derpibooru is an image repository. And you may be wondering who I am, who these people are, who are we in relation to Derpibooru. I'm 90.
I am Fletch, also known as Fleetfoot.
And I'm simply Delhi.
Yes, I am known as Princess Celestia on the site. I currently perform the roles of what you could describe as a CEO of Derpibooru. I handle the organizational aspects of the moderation and I handle the technical operations of the site. Right, so now that the introductions are out of the way, we can...
Yes. And I'm Fleetfoot in the site, as I said. I am a senior moderator for Derpibooru, and I oversee the moderation in the whole at the site.
You do.
I don't even know what I do. I dabble with the technical aspects because that's what interests me the most. Even though I still don't speak the language that Derpibooru is written in, because why would you use something saying like PHP or JavaScript? No, you have to go and pick a language that I didn't even hear up until then, called Elixir. Well, I don't think I will know that language anytime soon, so I help with the infrastructure more. And when I'm bored and I'm like, I want to help the site but not like develop stuff, I help with the tons of daily chores that we have there.
Yes, and there's a lot going on the site. However, for those who don't know, what is Derpibooru? Can someone answer this question?
A measurable pile of images.
Yes, a pile of images. Anyone else?
Yeah, well, an image board with some forums and some other stuff.
An image board with some forums and some other stuff. Yes, that sums it up. That sums it up quite well. Raise your hand if you have a Derpibooru account. I see almost everyone here has one, so that's reassuring. Yeah. What would you say you primarily use Derpibooru for?
You can be honest.
You can be honest. We don't judge here.
For ponies.
For ponies.
Porn.
Or porn. Anything else?
Hey, club.
Background.
Oh, great.
Background?
Yeah. PC.
Yeah.
Phone.
Wallpapers.
Yes.
Data matching.
So, the primary purpose of Derpibooru, as we have established here, is to search for images. It's an image repository that's well tagged and well moderated, where people can find content that they like to see, and filter content that they don't like to see. A concept like this is called a linear Booru style image board. What's a Booru? We'll go into that a little bit later. However, the way Derpibooru is defined is it's a Booru with filters, with state-of-the-art tagging and implications and aliases system, with a forum, and with a lot of features that are very centric to the artist, because we want to accommodate the artist's needs and wants. In that, what is a Booru? A Booru is an image uploading, tagging, and voting and commenting system. It's a piece of software defined by these four things, and there are many softwares that accomplish the same goal. Many of them are very well known, such as Danbooru, used by E621, or Gelbooru, used by a lot of anime Boorus, or shimi, also used by a bunch of anime burus. So how is Derpibooru different from a standard buru software like Derpibooru? First of all, it has a very convenient UI and UX. We get a lot of feedback from users that explain to us that they use Derpibooru because it's so easy to search on it and so easy to find content that you like. It has a unique and powerful tagging system to accommodate that. And thanks to it, we can have things like filters that work based on our search engine and filter out the stuff you don't want to see, so that you're not exposed to, for example, hoof holding, if you don't want to see it. We also have a very large community-centric feature set, such as the forums and comments, where people can share their opinion on any given art piece, or vote on stuff in two different ways. You can fave an image, or you can vote on it and affect its score. We maintain two vote lists, primarily so that you can separate what you want to show to the public and what you would consider like your actual favorite images from just stuff that you saw and liked. We also have a lot of artist-centric features, such as the DNP list and the artist link system, which allows artists to link their social media accounts to their Derpibooru accounts and, advertise their work on our site. And of course, Derp is known for loading very fast and being very snappy site, so that you don't have to wait for your pony to load. And we have moderation, which is an aspect I'll go into way more detail a little bit later, but I wanted to mention it here. So the competition. We have our well-known E621, which runs on a fork of Derpibooru. A fork is a derivation of software made with some changes. For example, I can take Derpibooru, make a fork of it, and then modify it to my needs, and that would be a Derpibooru fork. That's what E621 runs, and it is described by our users, at least, as a little bit cumbersome, and the tagging system is not up to par, not up to scratch to Derpibooru standards. But otherwise, it's a very similar website. It allows you to reverse search, it allows you to comment on images, it has a wiki where you can check out different things, and it has a tagging system that's very similar to Derpy, but instead of spaces in tag names, it's underscores, pretty much. Then we have Derpibooru, the original, what E621 was forked off of. It is an anime buru where most content is allowed, but it's not really furry or pony-centric, so this content tends to get buried in there. And we have Derpibooru, which is another website with a different software that is usually described as being a piece of horse apples. And it lacks half the features that I just described. There's no tag implications and aliases, there's no reverse searching. You have to use an external service to reverse search on Derpibooru. And it's just not up to par to the feature set that someone who uses E621 or Derpibooru expects. So it's primarily used by anime people. So, what's the history of Derpibooru? In the beginning, what was there? Who can give me any ideas what was in the beginning?
A boy. First picture.
Any other ideas?
PonyBooru.
PonyBooru.
There we go.
However, what was before PonyBooru?
The gun cart.
Before PonyBooru, before all the burus, there were ponies. and lots of pictures of ponies. And those pictures of ponies needed a place to go. Of course, there was DeviantArt, where artists could upload their artwork. However, it was not very convenient to search for pony artwork for those who were in the early fandom, because there was no centralized place to put it. So, a person named Eco came with the idea of PonyBooru, with an I, not with a Y. those with the Y are a little bit weird. Yes. What is PonyBooru? PonyBooru is a shimmy website which looked like this. Pretty standard for 2011 image board standards. Jailbooru looks very similar, but this is pretty much what PonyBooru looked like within its last few months of life. As you can see, it's just quite bare bones, quite basic. Everything you would expect from a Booru website. So, what was it? It ran on Shimmy. It was outdated by 2011 standards because, well, the software was not updated for years, even back then. And it only got picked up like in 2014 after all the other software kind of took over. It was very, very slow. And not just slow, but using PonyBooru, the experience was more akin to like, when you upload something, you expect that upload to stick, right? Well, no, that's not the case in PonyBooru. You could upload something and 2 minutes later realize that it just didn't save, or it would give you an error because the site was crashing and timeouting all the time. Or you could work on tags and add a lot of tags, and make the most wonderful tagging of some image, and it just doesn't save. You just wait for 2 minutes for this to load, and then timeout. Nothing saved. PonyBooru also had next to no moderation. It was run by Eco, who was the administrator of the site at the time, and about 2 or 3, I don't remember exactly, assistants of his, who were handling moderation, but it's quite hard to moderate when, if you change tags, 2 minutes later you can find out that none of your changes stuck. And hence the moderation was a little bit lacking. And it had lots of duplicate images. Because of its speed and stuff, and the lack of reverse searching functionality, it was a little bit hard to find out if something was already uploaded on the site, so it was more practical to upload something rather than not upload at all, because it may or may not be on the site, and in case it's not, you would want to upload it, and that led to the same image being uploaded like 3 or 4 times in the same day, which was quite fun. Not. And after the end of season 1, after all the episodes ended, and in the period of hiatus between season 1 and season 2, what happened to the site was basically, well, a community that was quite centered around the ideas of the show, the friendship is magic and stuff, just devolved into an absolute firestorm of hate speech and slurs and literally not safe for life content being posted under the comments, for example, gore. So basically, the entire website devolved into a 4chan image dump. And this led to a lot of new users kind of feeling alienated from the community, which they couldn't really relate to anymore because of all of this hate. Like, you would post the cute pony you found, and you just get klopfic written in the comments about it, and a bunch of gore posted next to it, which was not fun for anyone. So, what was the solution? The solution was Booru on Rails, which was something that the founder, one of the 3 original founders of Derpibooru, Clover the Clever, wrote over the Christmas break. The Christmas holiday season of 2011, he got a little bit fed up with how slow PonyBooru was performing and attributed a lot of the issues of PonyBooru to its slowness. It's slow, so the moderators can't do their job efficiently. So he decided to make a proof of concept software that would be fast and easy to run for Eco, the administrator of PonyBooru. He called it Booru on Rails because it's written in Ruby on Rails. He took MongoDB, if you're being technical, as the database backend, and using it made a search engine that's very similar to our modern search engine of Derpibooru, but a little bit more basic. And this software was specifically tailored for the needs of the pony fandom and the PonyBooru. That's why it was created. And it was presented to Eco as a viable replacement for Shimi. Well, as history shows, PonyCon refused the offer. Eco was very unenthusiastic about the whole thing and kind of just left us on red. And yeah, PonyCon just continued on running on Shimi for the next 6 months. In about 6 months, what happened was it shut down. And as it was shutting down, Eco basically messaged the staff of Derpibooru at the time with, hey, in 2 weeks, I'm going to be shutting the site down. He did it in 1 week. Yeah. In the meantime, in those 6 months, Derpibooru was mostly used as a private image repository for the founders of the site and the administrators and their friends. It was still left public, just in case Eco changes their mind and decides to switch to it, so that the proof of concept is still there. However, well, that never happened, and it just served as a private image repository. So what happened when PonyCon shut down, and an announcement was made to go to Derpibooru, essentially, for pony pics. And that announcement got mirrored on Equestria Daily at the time. Chaos ensued. Basically, the site was absolutely flooded with users. Everyone who was using PonyCon suddenly started using Derpibooru, and everyone was in a panic to preserve all the content that was uploaded to PonyCon, because there was lots, and nobody wanted to lose all the pony pictures that they worked so hard to upload and tag. So people started uploading to Derpibooru. And as Derpibooru was running literally on a home server of the founder under his desk, it did not handle the traffic very well. Let's just put it at that. Derpy was basically very slow in the beginning. We quickly moved to a different server and something that's capable of handling the load. However, it was not the entire solution to the problem. There was also the problem of moderation. A lot of people with different backgrounds came to Derpibooru following PonyCon shutdown, and all of them had a different idea of how the moderation shall be handled. For example, people coming from PonyCon itself were used to this lack of moderation, and the moderation being very lax and allowing, so they wanted nothing deleted, nothing filtered, everything allowed, any kind of speech, hate speech, or all of that shall be allowed. That was their resolve. People coming from Equestria Daily were more used to a stricter moderation policy, such as deletions of like literally anything that's not cute pony, cute safe pony. So they wanted everything gone, all the porn, all the weird shit, everything. They wanted everything gone. And they also, someone threw around the idea of moderators being completely depersonalized and acting only via support tickets as like anonymous moderators, so that like the entire moderation is just a gray box, a gray wall. There were also a lot of people who were used to Derpy's approach and PonyCon's approach to moderation, of it being a little bit more personal. Moderators engaging with content and engaging with users on a more personal level, and talking and resolving issues. However, that led to an issue of a lot of moderators were being perceived as just users on a power trip, which honestly is not that far from the truth sometimes. But that was also something in consideration. What we settled on in reality is something like this. The real moderation of Derpibooru is a hybrid between everything. We want to allow as much content as possible on the site. And I mean, like, that was the case since the inception of the site. However, we want to respect the wishes of the artists. If the artist does not want us to post the artwork on the site, we will respect this wish and delete their content. we have figured that a small deletion of someone's artwork is better for the benefit of the community. We are fostering a friendly to the artist community, and we would like artists to have trust that their wishes will be fulfilled by the site. One second. Right. This, of course, does not sit well with some people, who I will not go into detail in this presentation. However, we also would like to balance it so that unnecessary content deletion is avoided. As such, we have a takedown policy, so only the artist has the control over their artwork. If some uploader uploads something to the site, they're typically not allowed to delete it unless the artist is them, or the artist is unknown, or it's just a screen cap or something. The takedown policy is complicated, and I don't remember it by heart, to be honest, because I'm not the one who handles takedowns. I'm just basically the manager of managers.
Also, if I may, our takedown policy, it allows artists to take their work down, but they force them to file for the takedown, and our moderators will try their best to talk to the person to find out why they want their art taken down, and if at all possible, we try to come to a better solution, because we all want pony art to remain on the site, because, well, as it was said, it's right now the #1 pony art site on the internet. It's very easy to search, many people go there, and I personally, for example, cannot for the life of me use DeviantArt as anything other than results on Google. So if I had to go and search for an artist on there versus Derpibooru, which I use daily, well, I would stop seeing that artist altogether. And that's not good for the artist or for us.
Right. So, further history of Derpy. I don't have any presentation following this point, so it's pointless to look there. Mostly because I prepared this entire presentation at 6:30 a.m. today. Sorry about that. So, further history of Derpibooru. Following the events of PonyCon shutdown, there were massive attacks on Derpibooru. Primarily two groups claiming responsibility for them. They were exploiting any vulnerability they could find, any exploit they could find in the software, which was very, very, very quickly patched by then CTO, or technical lead of Derpibooru, Clover the Clever, who is also one of the original founders and the original author of Buru on Rails. And this went on for about 2 years until they finally got over themselves. Also DDoS attacks, all that good stuff, that was basically the reality of Derpy for the first 2 years of its existence on the internet. Once things have stabilized, it was... What's funny? I want to know what's funny.
It has nothing to do with us.
Fun. Hold on. I have my notes here. I forgot. No. Once the stability of Derpibooru was achieved and all of the moderation policies were set in stone, one strict difference between Derpibooru and PonyCon was that the moderation policies were actually enforced, and we have found a wonderful team of volunteer moderators on the IRC channel that Derpibooru used to run at the time. The IRC was primarily used for discussion of episodes, for discussion of Derpibooru, and for just reporting content on Derpibooru. And we basically reached out to active people in there and made them moderators. And that's how we got most of our initial staff. So the policies were actually enforced, which means all that klopfic and hate speech in the comments was no longer allowed. However, we did not want to go too draconian on the moderation, which was why we have allowed the usage of slurs in general if they are not directed at someone in specific as hate speech. The software over the years has been developed since then. A lot more features were added. Many things have changed since the original implementation of Derpibooru. For example, oh hey, let there be lights.
Hey!
Right, so a lot of features were changed since the original implementation of Buru on Rails. For example, search used to be handled entirely in MongoDB, entirely in database, which was not practical for every scenario. As the site grew, it has become more and more slow as there is more content to be searched through. So the site was switched to a thing called Elasticsearch. And you can thank it for most of the filtering and most of the searching functionality that we have today. All this wonderful search syntax and the filters that allow you to filter individual tags or have complex filters, that's all thanks to Elasticsearch. Without it, this would not have been possible. The filter system, as I said, was overhauled in between the original implementation of Buru on Rails and the Elasticsearch migration. For example, initially, you didn't really have your own filters. There were some preset filters made by site staff, and you could append on them your own, basically, block list. So you could take the default filter and say, I would like to block some more stuff that's not already blocked in the default filter. This led to the situation where the site staff would change the site policy, for example, to spoiler grotesque content, and everyone would inherit that automatically, which did not sit well with a lot of people because they worked really hard to make their perfect view of the site, and it was all taken away because some moderator decided that a tag needs to be filtered. So this system was overhauled into the system you know today, the filter system, where every single user can have a separate filter that's unaffected by site's changes, where they can make their perfect version of the site with all the tags they don't like blocked and with everything they don't want to see immediately spoiled, I mean. And yeah, and all the changes to the site policy and stuff do not affect those filters. Most people still use the default filter or the everything filter if they're brave enough to do so. But this has alleviated the issue of site staff changing policy and everyone being affected. So those who don't want to be affected can just have a custom filter. And this has since then become one of the most defining features of Derpibooru, what Derpibooru is known for. In between all that, Mongo at some point kind of died, and we have migrated away from it to PostgreSQL. In the end, Mongo was used for very few features, so it was decided that it's more practical to just take the performance impact and migrate to the PostgreSQL, which is a different database type, and not suffer with Mongo's bugs and problems anymore. Because in 2015 there was an incident where Mongo just randomly decided to corrupt a lot of the data, and all the tags and searching was just not really working because of that. So this was the final straw that kind of broke the camel's back on it. So the technology that allowed Derpibooru to exist and prosper initially was eventually replaced with something better, and this is how it all should be. So at some point we also implemented the commission listings feature, where artists can list their commissions, which is also one of the defining features of Derpibooru, so that you can advertise your commissions and people can easily find an artist for what they're looking for. At some point, the original design of the site, which looked largely similar to PonyCon, was changed to the design we know today. It was the first redesign, and it was met with a lot of anger and negative feedback, obviously, just like any UI change ever in history. It was given a beta test period of about a month, during which 3 users participated. And once everything changed, those who didn't participate suddenly got very angry and started throwing a lot of negative feedback at us. So yeah, if you don't tell us what's wrong before we deploy it, like, why complain? Right. Derp is also known for running a lot of community events. As you all know, we host an annual community collaboration. Who knows what the community collaboration is meant to signify?
Community spirit.
Community spirit, that's a good guess. Any other guesses?
Friendship?
Friendship, also a good guess. Anything else? Okay, it's a celebration of the anniversary of the site's founding. It originally started off as basically happy birthday Derpibooru, and we have decided to make it about our community, because community is very important to us, and we would like to celebrate the birthday of the site with everyone else. Which is why the badges for the community club are usually called Friendship, Art, and Magic, because this is what Derpy is all about. It's about friendship and art, and some magic. The magic is the software that runs Derpy. And also the drugs the moderators take. Right. The community club is a big collaboration where everyone can insert their own original character into a big picture and be featured alongside everyone else. In fact, I have the latest one printed right here. And at the end of the panel, I would like everyone who would like to do so to sign it. The only prerequisite is to have having a Derpibooru account. It will be submitted to the charity auction and hopefully sold for a lot of money for the charity. Right. Beside the community club, our site is also well known for our amazing April Fool's events. Ever since 2018, I took over running all of those events. So every single event since 2018 is my fault. But it all began with Derpibooru basically playing a prank on DeviantArt. How they changed to this eclipse thing. And we basically redesigned the site to look green and pretend like we got absorbed by DeviantArt. And this is how it all started with the events. Before then, there was also Nicolas Cage Buru, but that was like a one-off that we did not really expect to make like a series of events out of. But like starting 2017 and 2016, I think. I'm very fuzzy on history. I'm very sorry. Starting with the DeviantArt thing, we started changing the theme of the site and like majorly redesigning the site for the event. I know the latest event was not very eventful, so to speak. It was just some pixel ponies, but that was mostly because I was completely slammed with writing my bachelor thesis. Sorry about that. I will make something special for the next April Fools. Don't worry about that.
Just please don't make it like that one time that we decided to split people into two teams and give them internet points because the site really got the most sweaty ever since its inception.
I actually want to run like multiple that event like a few times a year because it resulted in a huge spike of uploads. Like if you look at the upload graph in the site statistics, there's like a huge spike at some point. Yeah, that's that event.
You like stress testing your server?
Our server is actually, in modern times, I'm sure Delhi will be way bigger than what we need. You'll explain later, don't worry. It's way bigger than what we need. So actually, all those uploads don't do anything to us. Please upload 5,000 images a day, we'll be happy about it. Yes. And the final type of event that we run are anniversaries related to MLP. For example, 10 years of MLP, Friendship is Magic, 10 years of the Equestria Goal stuff, and other anniversaries related to MLP itself, as well as inception of MLP, as we have recently started to run this event. It's actually ongoing right now, and all you have to do to participate is upload any one of your drawings, even if you draw like a stick figure in a notepad, that's also allowed. Go ahead, upload it. Right, so I will give the microphone to Deli for now to explain the modern technical situation of Derpibooru. And after he's done, I shall explain how it came to it.
All right, so I apologize up front because I have nothing prepared. I was informed that I will be sitting not with you, but right here, like 5 minutes before the panel started. So all I can say is, Derpibooru, when I joined the moderation team and started dabbling with the software, I was surprised. I expected Derpibooru's backend, considering how many users it gets, how many images get uploaded every day, to be pretty large. What it is actually is a single server running a CPU processor that many of you might have at home. It's modern Ryzen with 7800 X3D, I believe.
7950.
7950 X3D. It's a normal consumer chip that you might buy for your own PC at home. Why did we choose that? Because we realized, hey, the extra memory the chip has is very beneficial for those short but very intensive peaks in CPU use that gets utilized during when you upload an image. It first has to be split into many different versions, many different sizes of thumbnails and previews and stuff. All that gets done dynamically when you upload the image. And that's what the CPU is very, very good for. And it gets indexed, all those tags get stored in our elastic index search thing. And to retrieve it really fast. And really the most difficult, most beefy part of our server has to be our storage. Because all those images have to be stored somewhere. The original ones, that is. Of course, Derpibooru wouldn't really run well if it also didn't have a thing called a CDN. It's a network that, when you access a server, most big servers in the world, you don't access the core server that runs the software and all the media files directly. You access some sort of a copy that's stored more near you. If that server doesn't have it, it retrieves it from the original server and stores it so that other people that come after you can have it delivered faster. It's called a content delivery network. We use Cloudflare so that most of the images, most of accesses of users actually don't come to our server. We only have to reply for search queries and when you post a comment, post a vote and like that. So the load really isn't that high. And I don't know, do you want me to say anything else?
I'll say the rest. So, in addition to what Deli just said, the consumer chip that we run is an X3D version, which means it has extra 3DD cache, which is good for gaming, as some more tech-savvy of you may know, but it's also good for caching responses to common requests. So, for example, someone anonymous loading the homepage of the site or viewing images that most people have viewed recently, that would all live in the cache. So the CPU doesn't even have to do that much fetching of the data for the request. It already has it. You can just spew out the response. Which also is good for a site like Derpibooru, because it has a lot of different various visitors who may have different interests, and because we have such a volume of requests, it can respond to more of them from cache. The way it came from to there is quite convoluted, to be honest. We used to run on a setup that was one server for app, where the main code will run, and one server for serving images, which will have basically a bunch of HDDs that store all of the content for the site. The site's content before 2017, where the migration to one of the servers occurred, was around 6 terabytes, which is not insignificant when you think about it in terms of what you can rent out, because we don't own our hardware, we rent it out. It's quite hard to find a server that just happens to have 6 terabytes of storage and also a good CPU. So we just had one server with terrible CPU, but lots of storage, and one server with good CPU, but no storage whatsoever, just the database, just the Elastic. In 2017, we have moved to a server called Fleet Food. That server had 24 SSDs of 500 gigabyte capacity, running in RAID 5 volume, resulting in a total capacity of around 9 terabytes usable for images, and 1 terabyte usable for the database and stuff. I believe it was like not even 9, like 8 terabytes. Still, a big server with a lot of SSDs. And we finally were able to have a server that can both serve images and process the requests. The problem with that was that we were stuck with this one provider that was charging us like something in the neighborhood of like 500 euros a month for the server, and did not have that much egress and was very, very limited. So this is a setup that actually worked for us for the longest time until around 2022, 2023, don't precisely remember, and which was the point where we have reached the storage capacity of that server. By the time we have migrated to our current server setup with object storage and CDN, we have had basically less than 800 gigabytes remaining of all the storage, and that's shared with database and shared with images. And because of this sharing of I/O bandwidth of the SSDs, the site ran quite slowly, which was the reason why our new software, Phenomena, was created. Phenomena is a successor to Buru on Rails, which has all the functionality of Buru on Rails, verbatim, but written in Elixir. At the time, it was resulted in around a 30% improvement to our performance, which allowed us to live on the server we had for a while longer. However, by the time we migrated, it was basically just as bad as when we started off. And when we moved to our current setup, where images are stored in this cloud and served from the cloud, it's basically resulted in around 5-time improvement of page loading times. So if something was loading in 1 second before, now it loads in 200 milliseconds, which made the site feel very, very snappy for a lot of people. I've actually personally listened to feedback from a lot of users about this migration, and most of them have reported that the site just feels snappier, faster. Everything loads as soon as you click. You don't have to wait. We did have some concerns about the setup, especially related to latency of file writes and latency of proxying everything. However, the 5-time improvement in performance and those 600 milliseconds that we saved from an average page load are like so gargantuan in comparison to 30 milliseconds of added latency that we just kind of didn't care. Right. Beyond that, we just run a bunch of Discord bots, some servers that also handle proxying of content and stuff. But apart from that, I believe that would be it for the technical part. And not to bore you any further, I would like to give the microphone to my lovely colleague over here to explain to you how our moderation is handled nowadays.
All right. Better late than never, right? So yeah, the moderation of Derpibooru. As my colleague here was saying, it can be a very fine balance between pleasing the community, those who consume the content, and those who produce the content, the artists themselves. And it's not always the smoothest thing ever. Like, there are sometimes you have to do that old saying, separate the art from the artist. and so on and so forth. So I'll go through the basics of the Derpibooru moderation and some extra content afterwards. To begin with, the moderation Derpy is separated by two levels, the assistant level and the moderator level. Everybody who joins the staff for the first time will always start with the assistant level. What does an assistant do? Basically, the more mundane, so to speak, daily tasks, such as handling the duplicate images, which we have like hundreds of duplicates every single day. That is a very tedious manual work, so there's a lot of value in that. How does the duplication system work? We have, maybe if you want to even show inside, I don't know. The software itself, okay. The software itself, Philomena, it can pick up images that look alike, and they go to a queue where every single assistant or moderator can look and say, oh yes, this is the same image between two entries, and we always go for the highest quality one, usually PNG over JPEGs, higher resolutions, and so on. Other than that, what else we do is verify artist links. So as we said, artists, they have the final word with their art every time. This never changes because we cater to the artists. And to make sure there is not abuse there, we ask this verification process. So basically the artist is going to put the code on their main page, be it Twitter, DeviantArt, whichever, and we're going to verify that, and now they can do whatever they want with their artwork in the site. So this is a usual moderator text bar. As you can see, we have the approval queue, which is this first one. Why did you add an approval queue? You used to have bad actors who would post all kinds of wrong things, from real life child porn, gore, all that kind of trash. So in order to stop that from happening, we introduced the approval queue a couple years ago, and it has been working wonderful. Like, it really stopped pretty much 90% of all these cases we used to endure in the past. So either assistants or moderators, they can come to this page here, they're gonna look, oh, it's an app project, let's see. So everything checks out, tags there, it's not nothing against the rules of the site, so we go back and we approve it. And in this stage, we don't really do any other moderation itself. We just want to see if it's okay to go live, and then we see if the tags are right, if other matters. So we never stop any new upload in this stage unless it's pertinent for that. The second one, as I said, duplicates. It's on the hundreds every single day. Like you can see, the software will show things that are potential on itself, or users can report the duplicates. So in this case with the Trixie right here, let's see, you can see the system will tell us one has a higher resolution, one has a better format, which is PNG over JPEG. So we can check them both and say, okay, so the target is better, definitely, we go with that.
Reason why we have so many duplicates is because we have wonderful users, some of whom are the archivist kind. They find that an artist might be uploading a high-resolution art to some other platform that was unknown in the past. Or maybe they're closing down their Tumblr account or something, so they download all their art and then upload each and every image meticulously onto our site. That, of course, if it has been uploaded in the past, will end up in the duplicate queue, and the person has to come in and check each and every one of them to see which one is higher quality to keep on the site. We're very thankful for our users, but it is a lot of daily work.
That it is, definitely so. So yeah, the assistant level.
We will not be showing reports for privacy reasons, by the way.
So the assistant level moderation is the bulk of the work of the moderation team. Like I said, there's a lot of going on. So the third part would be the artist links. So this is the page we see. Every artist will input like, oh, okay, so I'm in this artist from this artist tag, and here's my website that I use, be it Twitter, be it for Affinity, whatever. and we go there and see, okay, this is valid, then your account is going to be linked into this artist tag for good. And once that is done, you can either apply for like a do not post policy or anything of the sorts, but that's already now the moderation level. Why do we leave these kind of things only for moderates? Because like my friend said, we always strive to have the most art in the site. That is the whole point, right? So we always talk with people. If someone wants to take down their stuff, we offer ways to anonymize it. We always like talking it through. And that sometimes is also a very tiresome work because there's a lot of back and forth of messages. And when it doesn't work and we lose the art, it's always a sad day too. So moderation, like she said, I cannot show because it shows IPs, addresses, and that's confidential. But basically, we have the two ways to approach this. Proactive moderation. If a moderator sees like a comment in an image that is rule breaking, they can act on it. Or they can simply wait for a report to pop up there and work on it. Are decisions on the moderation level only made by one person? No. They always come, it used to be on the IRC, now it's on the Discord channel, where at least 3 other moderators will go through a specific case, and it only takes an action when there is a consensus of what should be done. And the same thing is when we're actually banning someone for whatever reason, the length of the ban and everything is also discussed by at least 3 moderators every time. This is something that we propose in order to avoid power abusers and also to have a better knowledge of what is taking place. Because otherwise it would be too individualist and it would open room for mistakes and abuses for sure. What a cute Trixie. So yeah, if you ever want to apply for staff, we actually make some opens every couple of years, and then you can start, like I said, on the assistant level, and if you actually like it, you're going to progress to the moderation level. We also have some other divisions, like there are moderators that like more the tagging side of things, so they will be fixing tags, they will be adding the tag descriptions, the implications, aliases, and so on. There are the moderates that are more for the specific rules, like harassment cases and whatnot. So you can focus on areas that suits you better, and you don't have to do all the work at once, which is very good because it is like a lot of work. How has been your experience when you were an assistant before?
It was very eye-opening. I did not expect Derpibooru to be so organized on the back end, yet so chaotic. We have members from all parts of life or all sorts of worldviews. And when you get all this bunch of people putting their chips in on any discussion, let's say that when we arrive to a conclusion, it has taken a while to come to that point. Especially when it comes to large site chains, those take, in many cases, months to arrive to, and it's never an easy journey. As for me, I came because I appreciated Derpibooru. I know that we are, by traffic, the biggest pony site on the internet, and as I used it daily, I felt like I wanna help those guys run the place, help with whatever I can, because I appreciate it. Also, Derpibooru unfortunately doesn't pay for itself.
Oh no, we do actually.
We do now?
Yeah, after the server move, we actually. So before the server move, we used to pay for this very expensive server, and our donations only bring in around like 600 to 800 euros a month, and our server bill was like way over like 800 euros a month. And after the server move, I actually managed to reduce the setup to the point where we only pay around 450 euros a month. So our minimum donations and advertising revenue, it's all kind of clumped together, of 600 to 800 actually now pays for itself. And the rest of the money are reserved for incidentals, which we actually do incur some. Like for example, About a year ago, we have incurred a 1,800 Cloudflare bill, which was not very fun, but our incidentals budget has helped pay for it. So we actually do not operate for profit, but we do earn more than we need, and anything over our incidentals budget will be donated to charity.
If you would like, Derpibooru does have a Patreon and a Subscribe Star. It comes with a couple of perks, a couple of nice badges on site. From one point on, one of our moderator members will make you a vector of your QT mark, I believe.
Yes, first cutie mark, and then you have your own pony if you go next.
The own pony as a badge to add to your account to show off that you're a good Derpibooru denizen helping to keep the site running.
Wonderful. So yeah, like he said, all big decisions, be it on the UI, be on policy changes, all those takes months to happen. And even then, we kind of screw up sometimes. Who here remembers the downvote fiasco? Precisely, it happens sometimes. Like, it's the best of intentions, but you can't be perfect every time. But we try, we really do. And it's daily work, pretty much. Sometimes we have moderators or assistants that get too tired, so they take a break, and it's totally fine. We try to always be friends first, and then everything else just suits into place eventually.
I get scared with how much people work there is on Derpibooru, despite how sometimes antisocial or asocial this fandom can seem. People there engage a lot, and not all of them understand what they're doing, and then having to talk to them to explain why we banned them. It gets tiresome, and I'm so glad we have people that dedicate so much of their hard work and time to talk to others, so that they can resolve the issues. And first of all, it's not about banning them to keep them from the site. If you're banned, you can still visit the site. You just cannot comment, you cannot change tags, I believe.
Pretty much you cannot interact, but you can still consume the content itself.
Yeah, so you will still keep your access to Pony. And if you come to our Discord, you can appeal your ban, where a moderator, preferably the one who banned you, will talk to you and explain why it happened and what we would have liked to see instead. And if you are understanding and apologize, we might shorten the ban, or if it wasn't that serious of an offense, we might even lift it altogether.
Yes. From the early stages of therapy up to around 2016, 2017, we did have a more strict moderation policy. Like bans usually would start already at a month even. Then ever since we are trying to be more lenient and try to find a finer balance, because we understand that sometimes you just had a bad day, or maybe something really trigged you bad, you needed a bit of a breath, take a breath first. So it's a constant, really. We're always working to try to improve the experience to everyone. And our current founder and patron, the Smiley Pony, maybe on TSP, maybe you've heard, he always advocates that the artists who produce the content, they are extremely important, and that's why we have to always respect their wishes. And Derpibooru is first for the artists, and then second for the consumer of the content. So, because without the artists, we wouldn't have the image. I mean, I guess now with the AI, but that's a different topic, right? So yeah, we're always doing the best we can to balance between these two sides of the coin. Is there anything else you would like me to point out from that direction?
I would like to talk about the future of Derpibooru now. It's a very short segment, so I would not take any more of your time. The future plans that we have can be summarized with two letters, A and I. No, we're not going to be an AI on this site, and we're not going to be using AI to do anything nefarious. However, we do have plans in regards to AI.
Oh yes, I would not let AI handle moderation the site. You can be rest assured about that.
Right. So the AI will be moved to a different website, and I am herefore proud to announce Tantibus. Tantibus will be a website dedicated purely to Pony AI. All of the AI content, all the AI generated content shall be moved there and have its own moderation policy and its own moderators. However, it is run by basically the same staff who run Derpibooru. It will be launched this month or early next month. We do not have the exact timeline. However, you're getting a very exclusive announcement because we haven't even announced this to the public yet, and we haven't had a discussion with the public yet. So, yes, you have just gotten a very exclusive, very secret announcement. Also, in our plans is to redesign the site yet again and bring it up to the standards of modern websites. You will be able to select any color of the theme you want. You can select light, dark, and then any color you want. All colors of the rainbow supported. We would also like to introduce more features to the site, but it will be an ongoing development, and all of them shall be announced when the time comes.
Yes, the AI art. That is a very big topic. I know some people hate it, some people absolutely love it. And ever since it popularized with the training machines, we have been working and trying to figure out what is the best way to go about it in Derpibooru. And we came to this conclusion that we will be having this branch site that will be part of the Derpibooru infrastructure, and most of the staff will be the same, but it will be divided. Because it's that old story, you don't go to Derpibooru to see furry, to see like photos of unrelated stuff. You want specifically the artist's work, so that's what we want to preserve. We want to keep Derpy specifically for art from the artist, but you will have an easily accessible, maybe it's going to be even the same account for both sites, where you can also check everything AI related. It came to us like maybe this will be a good compromise. We will have this experience period once we launch it, and hopefully that works out. But if it doesn't, well, we're all human, we all do mistakes, and can always work that back.
Yes?
How will it be done in a technical way? Will the old images then be deleted and moved over?
No, all images are grandfathered, always.
Okay, okay.
So this would conclude the Derpibooru panel. I hope you enjoyed, and I invite all of you who are so inclined to sign this poster to be submitted to the charity auction of PonyCon Holland. Make sure to scan this QR code to get your badge on the site. You have to be logged in to access this page. If you're not logged in, no badge. And yeah, if there are any questions, we will be accepting questions at this time. Yes?
You said that you have planned some new features. Will that include uploading stories and music?
Oh yeah.
The music was actually a concept conceptualized in the early days of Derpibooru, and we called it pony tones. However, it didn't really go that well. For music uploads, you can always upload the web images with your soundtrack. But for the stories, we do intend to improve comics. So not really stories. Stories is more of a FinPix deal. However, for comics, we'll introduce a feature most commonly referred to as pools on other image burrows. However, in context of Derpibooru, it will not really be pools. It will be more of a related images context. So an artist or the uploader can define, okay, this set of images is related to this image, which could define alternative versions or next comic pages. And in case of comics, it'll be possible to define in which sequence they should come one after the other.
Okay. That's very nice.
Any other questions? Yes?
Yeah, do you have or have planned it in public or semi-public API?
We do have an API. It's in the footer of the page. It's an API page. It describes the endpoints that we have. However, we do plan a major expansion of it to the point where you can use all site functionality through the API. At the moment, it's not possible. However, it's planned to be possible. Yes?
Is it possible to contribute on a technical level?
Define contribute.
I'm a programmer by trade and I would like to contribute to either building new features or maintaining the website if possible.
Contact me on Discord or via site PMs and we can discuss it.
Alright, I will look into that.
Any other questions? You?
Yes, I was wondering if Derpibooru has kind of an autocorrection if I misspelled something. Like if I'm searching for a specific artist and I misspelled him, then I don't see anything. Can I do something about it?
Well, we have an autocomplete feature, so as we start typing, you will see a few suggestions as to what can potentially come. We, in addition to that, also have aliases feature, which means common spellings and common ways to write a certain tag are all accounted for. So, for example, open wings and wings open are aliased so that you can type either one and get a pony who is spreading wings.
Fuzzy search can also probably fall
Yes?
into it.
But this is only for tagging image and not in the search bar, right?
It is in the search bar and in tagging. Yes.
Since when?
Is it only for accounts?
Yes.
I've never seen it in the search bar.
No.
I've never seen it either.
The autocomplete, the suggestions.
It does a suggestion, but it does not autocomplete.
Oh shit! Sorry, pre-designed feature.
Yeah, on a moderation level, every time we take notice that some tag is being misspelled consistently, we do alias them, so it helps a little bit. But another thing too is that
I'm too redesigned brain, because I've been working on the new design of the site and new feature set. I've been very spoiled by what it offers.
on the search field, you can also always use the wildcard if you only know like the start or the ending of what you're trying to write. Like sometimes some artists do have some really long and weird names, so you could just go like artist and TW, then the wildcard, and it's gonna probably pull the right fragment from there.
Thank you, that's a good tip.
Yeah?
I think there's also a fuzzy tag search, right?
Yes.
You can specify, 80% of this tag needs to match.
You're confusing this with relevant search.
Oh, that's like a tilde symbol after tag.
Yeah, that boosts relevance.
Oh, that's a character.
Yeah.
There is some fuzzy
There's a
stuff.
tilde symbol. It doesn't work very well, but there's like
There's a star symbol that kind of completes the wildcard.
Yeah, but there's also the tilde that you can follow by a fraction of value.
yeah, it doesn't work very well. If you misspell one character, it
No
finds
wonder I
it
don't
in the
know about it because it doesn't work very well.
tag. Yeah.
Anyway, we will probably fix it so that it works better in our future upcoming updates, because we also moved to a new search engine called OpenSearch instead of Elasticsearch, which is a fork of Elasticsearch. However, it has new stuff, so we might consider using new stuff from it. Yes?
Can you show us a sneak peek of the new design?
Can I?
Now you activated her.
Okay, let's see.
It's what she's been
It
working
will
on.
probably be in site and stuff discussion. And, I should probably leave.
Just carry on with it.
How about in the meantime we take another question? While you
Yes.
search for it?
Yeah, first. Anyone else? Yes?
You also run Fervor.
Yes, Derpibooru is actually like, because we are a couple, and it was like our couple's project together. We wanted to expand to the furry world and also do some policy and moderation changes that is not really possible in Derpibooru because it has too much of history. And with the Derpibooru, we wanted to have like a clean start to fix all the issues we knew with Derpy, like some tag situations, some policy situations. So yes, I am the administrator, and she handles the whole development side of it.
This is a sneaky peek of the gray theme, the dark gray theme of the redesign. It looks largely similar to how it looks now. However, please keep in mind that this look is very much a work in progress and everything is subject to change. Everything will probably change. For example, this location of the admin bar is not really the final one, and I can tell you that right now.
Yes?
I'm not sure if it's more less of a question and more like a report of that thing, but yeah, one time I was checking the commission site page, basically looking for the filters thingy, and yeah, on the first page it displays basically randomized like orders, but if I click the second page, I get like duplicate artists who currently take commissions.
Please make an official bug report because that does sound very wacky.
Yeah.
You can join our Discord server, and on the support or site discussion channels, you can just report it, and we'll definitely look into it.
The link to the Discord is in the footer of the site at the bottom, under the contact page.
All right.
Any other questions? Yes?
How understaffed or how well staffed you are in terms of the moderators? Or, like,
How is it that I am in charge?
no, I mean like,
How well staffed are we? We presently have around 20 very active staff members, and I mean like those who contribute something at least once a week. That's how I define active. We do have a couple who haven't contributed in a while. However, it's due to some circumstances such as like sickness or just generally having problems in life. We allow people to take a little bit of a break from the site, and we don't really require a certain amount of contribution to become as a moderator. However, if you just disappear for like a few months, we might remove you from the moderator position because we would like to keep our moderators list very clean and keep the minimum possible amount of people with any sort of power at any given time, because every single person with moderator tools is a security risk. Any other questions? Yes?
Will there be more fetch websites implemented? So on the
I
upload
understand,
pages,
I understand what you mean. Yes, we are looking to expand our scraper with Blue Sky, for example. It's being implemented right now. And other websites, such as Mastodon, may also get first-party scrapers. We are open to suggestions as to what should be scraped. However, we're pretty sure we've covered most of our bases, or those we haven't covered are just unimplementable for one reason or the other.
The fetcher is really good, but like sites like Twitter, they love breaking it every other week. It's a constant work there.
Any more questions? Yes?
How are the featured images on the site chosen?
So there's a forum thread. I can just show you, I guess. There's a forum thread in the assistant discussion, featured images, nominations gallery, where staff members can just choose which images can be nominated, and then we vote them for them in this thread in a format like this. Well, it changed though. Let's go to the last page. So yeah, for example, this staff member, Dragonpone, has voted for these two images. Maltgith voted for this one, and then Maltgith, who is responsible for featured images, tallies up the votes and features the highest voted one.
Yes. We do take a suggestion from that forum thread for the future images, or the moderators can just look whatever they like. But we do have like some criteria, like we try not to repeat artists, we try to always find new artists, usually users as well.
Is this better or worse than 4chan?
I don't know. Do you want a gun?
No.
Okay.
So, like you asked before, this is one of the small changes between Derpibooru and Derpibooru. Like in Derpibooru, we're not doing votes anymore. Each moderator can just say, "Oh, I want this image feature," and it rolls. Everyone gets it once. So it's all just minor changes, really, between the sites.
Yes.
Do you plan to backport any of that to Derpibooru?
You can say Derpibooru sometimes can be a test ground for some things, but usually we try to remember that Derpy is very specifically for the MLP, which is a niche, right? And furry fandom, it can be so many things, so many deviations, so not everything is portable between them.
You have no idea how many times we went to discuss the issue or the current implementation of gender tags on Derpibooru.
Oh, don't get me started on genders. Derpy's gender tags are awful. I love Derpibooru gender tags because we have standardized them to be very clinical language and very clear as to what's what. Derpy, it's like, what does gay mean? Tell me, what does gay mean?
Male and male.
Does it include transgender males? Does it include non-binary people?
Hermaphrodites.
What about a female identifying as a male? You now have a gay tagged image where you have a female-looking pony. What if somebody doesn't want to see that?
So that's a problem.
Penis on penis.
And this is basically how we have defined Derpibooru tags. Male means male identifying character with a penis, and intersex male means someone who presents with male features, however has vagina.
And another thing, like in Derpy, solo tags. You can only use solo male, solo female if it's suggested or above rating. That is something that I personally do not understand why to this date, but it's the kind of thing that if you bring to the rest of the staff, oh, I think this should be changed, and we have to go through this with the other 20 people, it sometimes just goes nowhere, and some people really are attached to the history. Are attached to the history, so that's why Derpibooru feels like a playground for me, because I can finally implement some changes that I think should be brought to Derpy, but will they be? That's another story.
Right, so we'll be taking the last two questions because we're running out of time. Yes?
When do you think the AI art site will release?
Either at the end of this month or at the beginning of the next month. Last question.
Has anyone ever told you that you look like pirate software?
No. Wow. So thank you all for listening, and thank you all for your wonderful questions. Anyone who wishes to do so may come forward and sign the community collab. And hence, I conclude the Derpibooru panel of PonyCon Holland. Thank you all.